Good morning, wherever you are. You are working one-on-one here on Voice Out Digital. That comes your way every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm your host, Ismaila. With me in the studio is Musa M. Fati. And then we have Alkali Jambe, and also we have Bakari Toure and Momode Diallo from the Gambia Immigration Department. They join us today to take on some of the burning national issues stemming from irregular migration, how the department combating irregular migration, and also national documents that start from the passport and national identity cards. Gentlemen, welcome to the Voice Out Digital.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bob. And thank you to your followers and listeners. Like you said, my name is Musa M. Fati, Chief Superintendent, Officer in charge of Community Engagement at Gambia Immigration Department.
Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Diallo. My name is Inspector Alkali Jambe. I work at the Migration Management Unit of the GID.
Yeah, thank you, Ismaila. Good morning to everyone. My name is Bakari Toure, Assistant Superintendent, working with the Passport Processing Unit of the Gambia Immigration Department.
Yeah. Good morning. It's a pleasure being here for the first time. My name is Chief Superintendent Momodu Diallo. I am the officer in charge of National ID Card of the Gambia Immigration Department.
Okay. Well, viewers, we've realized that irregular migration has been seen as one of the most dangerous journey across the world, which amounted a lot of loss of life and properties. So here in the studio we have the gentlemen here to tell us some of the issues they have been going through to tackle irregular migration. But before we get into the program proper, I would want to give everyone a chance to tell the audience that some of their achievements from their area of specialization and some of the challenges they go through. So I will now start from Mr. Fati to tell us some of the achievements and then.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. Like you said, GID as a department has established a unit called Community Engagement Unit. It is a new unit that is established with the current director. The unit is established to close a gap between the Gambia Immigration Department and the general public. You know, the management realized that there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to immigration processes. And in order to clear these misconceptions, the unit community engagement is very important. One of the activities that we do is like what we are doing here. This is something that we are doing. Currently at 12 o'clock we have our other officers that are also going to be presenting at MTA International. So we are presenting at Star FM on every Thursday and also on Poliso FM Star FM on every Friday from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock and also Poliso FM on every Thursday from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And also across the region, we are also engaging communities, local authorities, and then to discuss on the citizenship and nationality and the procedures to acquire national ID card. So as a new unit under the GID, and also if you follow our Facebook page, you will realize that GID is now trying to come to the doorstep of every Gambian so that people will not have that misconception that they used to have against GID. So these are some of the things that the community engagement is doing to bring people closer to the services that GID offers. Thank you very much.
Over to Mr. Alkali Jambe.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Very important question. As you all know, the GID is the management government is responsible for the control of the movement in and out. The control of the movement being a very important facet of national security. Made the GID command deem it necessary to create a unit called the Migration Management Unit, which is responsible of controlling and also observing, also reporting on migration, especially irregular migration or irregular migration, as many know it. The regulation is such that every person coming in or going out of the Gambia must pass through an immigration officer. And those that don't go through that process are doing something that is illegal or irregular. And basically, our job is actually to fight against irregular migration. We have our bases in Ba and Tanje, and also we have our main headquarters at the GID headquarters. We also handle administrative matters with regards to borders from project implementations and policy implementations. So basically, our main job actually is to work on the irregular migration matters, especially smuggling of migrants. And we are supported by our stakeholders. We also serve as a technical arm of the GID in terms of the fight against irregular migration. We also run the shelter facility or the reception facility we have in Tanje, where we receive migrants that are either intercepted or returned. We facilitate their reception facilities by providing necessary assistance and protection before facilitating their return to their various homes or countries of nationality.
All right, thank you so much. Then moving to Mr. Bakari Toure.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I said before, my name is Bakari Toure, Assistant Superintendent, working with the Passport Processing Unit. We all know that passport is a very important document for citizens because that enables someone to travel all over the world. And the Gambia's passport is among the most standardized passport. You know, we have been issuing other passports before, like right now we have MRP, we also have the biometric passport. But you know, as recent changes, evolution comes, we also try to change to suit real time. So this being the case, we move now to biometric passport, and this has been since 2014 we started issuing the biometric passport. And some of the issues we always do or we are doing to ensure the standard of the passport to be maintained. We have recently even upgraded the passport, include some security features, and also even the texture, the color remains the same, but there's slight different, like that cannot be discovered by somebody who is not within the process. And also we have also started issuing biometric passport overseas. We started just a few months ago. We had a team that traveled to Spain to issue Gambians there with the biometric passport, and we also had another team that traveled to Italy to issue Gambians who are living there the biometric passport. And this has not been an easy thing because it also goes with a lot of cost. So government has done really well to be able to provide the service of biometric passport to Gambians abroad. So that is the beginning, but we hope that it will be extended to other countries also. So in terms of infrastructure, we have created a lot of facilities to ensure that people coming for the process of biometric passport are well taken care of. And the process is really working smoothly, and we are hoping that we will maintain it like that. But some of the challenges we have is that has to do with the attitude of the people. You know, sometimes you have people who are difficult to manage, and we all just have to encourage people to bear with us to overcome some of these challenges. And we've seen sometimes Gambians will come, try to defend somebody who is not eligible to get the passport, and that's a challenge that is really going on, and we encourage everybody to stay within the limits of the law so that there is no problem. Thank you.
Okay. Now over to Mr. Jallo. Hope you are not hungry.
No, I am not. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Mr. Ba. For the national ID, we have registered significant achievements when it comes to the issuance of national ID. In the past, we used to collaborate with a foreign company to issue these documents. But as we speak, I think since last year, March, we we have been issuing these national documents on our own without the support of any foreign company. This is a very big plus for the GID and for the Gambia as a whole, because in the past, when we were working with the foreign company, all the proceeds that we collect from these issuance of these national documents, we used to share 60-40. The foreign company is taking 60% of whatever we collect. So as of now, everything that we collect, 100% remain in the country. And then the other thing is the human resource aspect. It is our own staffs who are operating and managing this system without the support of any foreign company whatsoever. This is a very significant boost for us as a department and as a country. The other significant achievement that we have registered is the mobile issuance of ID. Like my counterpart has said here, because of the mobile system that we have, equally the national ID card is also going beyond the borders of the Gambia. We facilitate for Gambians to get their national ID outside the Gambia. This is also very, very significant, because with the biometric ID, without the mobile system, the individual has to travel, where he or she is, to the Gambia to get these documents, whether it is the passport or it is the ID card. So with the mobile system now, it is us going to meet Gambians wherever they are, and then we register them and issue them with this national document. And locally also, currently the team is going around. We are in Basi right now to register and issue national ID cards for civil servants. We all know there is an upcoming exercise with the PMO, and then it is indicating that anybody without a valid national ID will not be enrolled into the government payroll. So as a result, our team is going around to ensure that all the civil servants are issued with this national document before the deadline. So all these are achievements for the national ID card unit. We also have some challenges when it comes to the issue of resources, because we all know technology is advancing every day. The equipments that we are using, some of them are out of date, and then we need to replace them. This is a challenge that we are also facing, and then the issue of capacity, because when it comes to ITC, there is a need for continuity in terms of capacity building, because technology keeps on evolving over time. So these are some of the few challenges that we have, and then our vision is to ensure that we bring this issuance of documents to the doorsteps of Gambians, make it accessible, make it affordable to every Gambian, since it is the right of every Gambian to be issued this document. Our vision is to make it easier for them. And in that, we are also trying to do our expansion program to reach out to all the corners of this country, so that wherever you are, you will be able to get your ID card without much difficulties. So in the very near future, we are going to organize a caravan tour countrywide, to make it affordable for Gambians and also accessible for them to get their national documents. Because where some of these people are living is very remote and far, and the distance that they travel to get their documents, sometimes the amount of money they pay on transportation is even more than the ID fee itself. So we want to reach out to them so that we can make it easier for them and affordable as well. Thank you.
As I say, congratulations to that, because I think this is what most governments are waiting for, the ID to be processed by our own department. So yeah, we have seen we are moving to we have seen irregular migration has been a burning issue. Despite your efforts to cope irregular migration, people are still going, despite the risks involved, despite the loss of lives and properties. So I want to, we also want to know, like, in your efforts to cope with irregular migration, where does most of your interception take place? And then, like, if it's successfully done, like, in what condition do you find most of these suspected irregular migrants?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. I think it's one of the questions that I always receive even when I go to meetings. Yes, the Gambia is known as as an origin, transit, and destination for irregular migration. We have migrants departing from the Gambia, Gambians moving from the Gambia with the help of families, with the help of friends, or funding from themselves, the migrants themselves. We also see Gambia as a transit country where you have other nationalities coming from other countries passing through the Gambia, either to come and pay directly or to come and work for some time, get the money, and then pay a smuggler who will move you to Europe. And it's also a destination where you have other nationalities coming from other countries to use Gambia as a destination where they come in the Gambia, settle down, pay for their residence permits, work, stay, get married, and do whatever. You know, and basically, this comes with a lot of challenges. One of them is to manage the irregular migration. At first, it was the central Mediterranean where people move by land. But of recent, we realized that they're using the coastal area, which is the practice of boarding boats, wooden boats, from the Gambian coast, either from the coastal line, the coastal belt here, from Katong to Tangier towards Bara to Chinat, or some who are actually trying to launch boats from the interior of the river Gambia, the Sami, and so on and so forth. And it has gone to a certain stage where numbers keep on rising. In January and February, we almost had no departure or no attempt. But all of a sudden, in March of 2025, there was a sudden spike. In March alone, we had 4 attempts. Out of those 4 attempts, one boat actually successfully evaded our control and actually sailed towards Spain, which was a great achievement. However, in the following month of April to June, which is the second quarter, we saw a higher spike, almost 150% increase in the number of attempts. And this continued to the third quarter, which is more bigger. Of recent, in this third quarter alone, we intercepted about 923 individuals. These are people that we've been able to intercept and take to our reception facility. In total, we disrupted the journeys of over 4,000 people, Gambians and non-Gambians. And the biggest problem perhaps is non-Gambians trying to use Gambia as a transit. The number of Senegalese and Guineans combined is over 700 out of the 900. You understand? Other nationalities welcome, but Gambians are only 157 intercepted this quarter, this past 3 months. So basically, what is happening is that despite our efforts internally with the sensitizations, with the interceptions, with publicizing our interceptions, taking them to TV, this has served as some form of control where we had to calm them. But the difficulty is the other nationalities from other West African countries. Remember, we are in ECOWAS, and these people have a right to enter, reside, and establish. So basically, through that protocol, they can come in. Yes. So what is happening is that what they do after entering is what is giving us the problems. Because at the borders, they will never tell you that they are going for irregular migration. And we've received large numbers of these non-Gambians, many of whom have been actually intercepted and facilitated to return to their countries. Over 700 have been facilitated to return, assisted voluntary return by the GID for them to return to their countries, Senegal, Guinea, and so on and so forth, those countries. Senegalese constitute over 510. You understand? So the situation as we speak is such that the financial implication is huge. Migrants will pay between 20,000, 25,000, up to 80,000. Senegalese migrants may mostly pay between 200,000 CFA up to 800,000 to 900,000 CFA, depending on the quality of service that the organizer is offering. Now, if you accumulate per average 50,000 per average, 50,000 for each migrant, it's a great loss, financial loss to the migrants themselves. it is plunging some families to poverty because some have attempted multiple times. So basically, it's affecting them. You look at the overall financial implication of this 50,000 times the number of the 925, you're going up to 46 million dollars losses to this unscrupulous, migrant smuggler. So it's a multi-million dollars industry that we are fighting against, a very, very serious one. It is contributing to the poverty of many. Yes, we will agree that some migrants travel through regular migration and actually reach Spain and they are helping their families. But judge it with the number of people who lost their lives, who lost their resources. The recent disaster in Mauritania was a clear example. A boat that departed in the North Bank here from Sami actually went up to sea and then had a problem. They brought another boat to help in transferring some of the migrants, and then with that scramble, because the organizer actually interestingly said that those who paid higher will move to the new boat, whilst those who paid lower will remain in the older boat. So it's in the transferring migrants from one boat to another, the chaos erupted, because some of the migrants, if I was actually in the old boat, I would not want them to leave me there, because that old boat was not going to go. It was designed to leave them there to die in the sea.
So it means like they are just fighting for their survival.
Yes, it was a scramble. During this scramble, that's when they had that. And 67 bodies were discovered. And we, as per our reports, we were told that there were around 160 and 67 were found. 17 Gambians have been returned, but the remaining other group of migrants, we cannot report on them. You see? So basically, with the low or the big resources or the small resources we have in tracking and finding missing migrants, because we are not equipped to find missing migrants. We find it difficult to be able to trace some of these missing migrants and to report to their families to give them closure, which makes it very, very sad. So many of these families will not have closure. But who pushes some of these people? We have to talk about that. The parents, the families, you don't travel, they don't see you as anything. So it's a mindset that needs to be worked on. Is the sensitization we need to increase to make sure that people understand that this journey does not only bring us, false promises, but it's actually dangerous to the society, it's dangerous to the people who are engaging in it.
I want to know, based on the intersection you have done, in what condition were they found? Either are they at sea or locked in someone's compartment? If so, were there distress in the location that they were discovered?
Yes, basically, majority of the migrants we found are found around the coastal areas. Are found lodged in completed buildings or in even houses, lodges, people's homes, completed homes that some landlords will hire. There are Gambians who are doing it, ignoring all the warning and all the sensitizations and all the awareness that we are trying to create. People are lodging migrants in their homes with the hope of the main organizer trying to get them a boat so that they can go. Some have been found on board the boats, wooden boats. Majority of these boats are actually very old boats, because we actually register the boats, and the few boats that we could not register are the ones that they try to use. You understand? These are old boats that have served 5, 6, 7, or even 10 years. They put some paint, put some nail on it, and then they put the mic on. So we found them on those boats on numerous occasions, even in this quarter. You understand? There are some that we found around the beach or hiding in the bushes. In most of the times, we found migrants waiting at one spot for between 3 to 2 weeks, 3 days to 2 weeks. You understand? Most of them are hungry. They are stressed. They are having trauma. They are tired. Some are sick. We've seen pregnant women, children. I've seen this past quarter, I've seen an 8-month-year-old woman. All her legs, all her body was swollen, and she was actually willing to go. And in most cases, you found out that some have been sick and they have not been able to get any medical attention. So basically, what we do is we bring them to the shelter at Tanje, because as part of our job, as part of our security operations, one of our aims is to provide assistance and protection. So we actually offer the assistance we can offer at the shelter, at the Tanje facility, where we take the ones that are injured and sick to the hospital. The Red Cross will be invited to offer immediate and basic services, first aid, and also psychological first aid. But many of them will need it. The disappointment of not being able to successfully travel to Europe is also a psychological trauma to many of the migrants. So we also face that. Some are discouraged. Some don't want to go home. Some don't want, after telling your parents that you are going, you don't want the parents to see them because some feel that the parents will see them as failures. So we have to deal with that, and we have to also, refer the ones that have committed offenses and crimes to the relevant institutions, especially those that are involved in violence, those are involved in trafficking cases, and so on and so on. So it's a whole lot of service that we offer. We put up a humanitarian face because it's not that we don't want people to travel. What we want is people to travel in a safe, orderly, and regular manner. This is our vision. So on the whole, this year, this quarter, we've had 925, which is a huge success in terms of interceptions and deterrence. In the previous quarter too, yes, we've done it. And our people in the southern banks, from Katong, Gunju, Sanyang, Tanje, Bara, Esau, Sami, so on and so forth, have been doing really, really, really well in terms of sensitizing, getting the public or the communities to work with us, and also getting the tips or information on time. And I want to thank the Gambian people for the collaboration, because we've seen an up increase in the number of intelligence that we are receiving from them. The major problem that we are having right now is the non-Gambians trying to use Gambia as a transit, which is also increasing. But the number of Gambians that have been attempting to go on irregular migration is not actually reducing, but it's not shooting up as many have thought, or as we may have thought in the second quarter.
Thank you so much. Moving to Musa M. Fati, like you are working on the community engagement unit. So like your colleague has mentioned that most of the non-Gambians use the borders to get into the Gambia in order to move ahead with their journey using the irregular means. So I want to know, like, how effective is the community engagement? Because the non-Gambians are mostly harbored or lodged into Gambian citizens who has compact or lodged in the Gambia. So how effective is it?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Like you said, the community engagement is effective. We are talking to the people on the dangers of irregular migration. Like I said, we are talking to people from them. But the reason why most of these non-Gambians are using Gambia as a transit is because the dynamics of the irregular migration has changed. Initially, like he said, they were using the Sahara Desert through Libya, Morocco, Tunisia. But because there are a lot of insurgents in those areas, we have a lot of non-combatant groups that are there that also attack migrants during their way to attack them, seize their belongings from them. And also the areas, there are stringent laws now that if they caught people on this irregular migration, they are punished severely. So unlike Gambia, we don't have a legal and regulatory framework that criminalizes smuggling of migrants. So like he said, when they come, they knew in the Gambia now, when you are caught, the worst that will happen to you is to send you back to your country. You'll be taken care of. And so these are some of the challenges we face. But thank God we are also working on that. We have already passed our bill that criminalizes smuggling of migrants. The bill has passed the national validation. It went to the Ministry of Interior, where legal advice were sought from the Ministry of Justice, and later it was transmitted to the cabinet. And of recent, I heard that I'm not very sure, but I heard cabinet has approved. So which means from the cabinet it is going to the National Assembly. So once the cabinet and the parliament consented to it, it becomes a law. Then we will also have stringent measures to punish, especially the perpetrators, because these are the problem. Right? Currently, we use immigration laws, to prosecute them, but the fines are too meager. It's even less than the fee of one passenger. So they don't care. Right? So, but now, if this law passes.
So how much is the fine? That is in the immigration.
Well, presently with immigration laws like the 1965,
we don't want
to discuss it, but these are very meager fines. These ties the law, the hands of even the judges, because at some point the law will say you cannot charge above this but not below this. Like you say, not less than 1,500 or but not above 2,500. I'm just giving you an example. These are small charges. They are big in 1965, but today it doesn't correspond with the current realities, right? So, but the law that we are pushing now, if that went on and it is validated, it becomes a law. We believe that the migration will not be stopped, but it will deter and it will also mitigate. We believe that one because there are severe punishments for perpetrators who are involved in this. But what people are also seeing, they don't. Most of the people don't look at the negative aspect of the irregular migration. You go to some community, they will tell you, but you see all these houses are built by these Gambians who went through these things. So if you say it is not good, how do you explain that? But you have to understand that, like he said, a boat will live here with about 200 people, and sometimes no information about it. Imagine 200 lives lost on a single journey, sometimes even more than that. So these are things that you have to understand when you talking of an issue. Look at both aspects of it, both positive and negative aspects. Where lives are perishing, you cannot compare that one to the few that have succeeded. So these are some of the challenges we have, but we believe that in our laws passed, people understand. But when it comes to irregular migration, we've talked to people. Sometimes there are certain push factors within the communities. Like he said, there was a time we went with the Minister of Trade on a talk. I was surprised. Some people are even saying, even in our public gatherings, they will say, let's pray. These are all pushing people. So people who are sitting here, they are seeing themselves like, it's like we are not useful. But even the prayers are even for those who are going out. So these are some of the things. So some family members, when one succeeded, it becomes a problem for those who are sitting at home. So these are some of the things that we are trying to make people understand that, whatever is achieved beyond, it is also achieved within. People have to understand
the mindset.
Thank you.
Yeah. During your press briefing in Tangier on September 3rd, we have one of your officials informed the press that, especially if you compare the regions, the 5 regions in the Gambia here, North Bank has been least supportive when it comes to reporting suspected irregular migrants. So as someone who's working on the community engagement unit, so how are you working to make sure that that gap is closed?
Yeah, of course. We have our representatives across all the regions. But that was before. Now on North Bank, they are complying very well. These are intels that we would not like to disclose to the people because most of these people, they operate very discreetly. Sometimes, they will not like to, gather their passengers in a large number at the same place. And then when they are, taking them to the sea also, they will have their, the main boat will be at the, deep sea. So they have these taxi boats that will be ferrying. So it's through the intel from within the communities that, we are, able to intercept most of these things. If not the collaboration from those communities, it is going to be very difficult. Initially, it used to be a problem around the North Bank. But you remember, I don't know, was it 20? There was a time, a boat departed from Bara, and then it capsized in Mauritania, and a lot of the people lost their life. And that also has served as an eye-opener for a lot of the people that, this thing is very dangerous. So from there on, they are complying. They are giving us intel once, they suspect those kind of movement around their, communities. There are people are coming on. We have to, definitely comment. Like I tell you, this year alone, almost, every week or two, we are intercepting. And this is because people are collaborating, giving us intel, of those kind of suspicious movements. So we will not say people are not cooperating now. People are really cooperating. But from the communities, and then I think we also have to understand that, all that we see outside, is not like the same gold. All that glitters are not gold. Sometimes, people arrive there, but the images that are sending to their colleagues around here are just illusions. It's not a reality. Sometimes you will live here and go to Europe. It takes you 10 years before you succeed. If you had spent that 10 years here doing something for yourself, you will have succeeded. Thank you very much. If Alkali, as the migration officer, can add something to what I said.
I will just
Yes, I think I do use that. You said,
because I don't want these people.
You said,
Yes,
they also form something important to what we are doing actually. Because before people travel, they need the documentation, and this is why they're coming.
For me, I just want to add a little bit onto the area of community engagement. It's just a suggestion. If if it's possible, the community engagement can also be facilitated to travel outside. It's very important. Sometimes you go and see Gambians outside, how they are faring, what they are going through. In fact, those kind of documentaries will even help. Because if I have the notion that, like, this is how Europe is, if I go to Europe, this is what I'm going to achieve. You have some of them who are living there, working, visiting them, engaging them, talking to them, how they are faring, what challenges they are going through, because seeing is believing. Because if you go out, you meet some of them, they tell you the kind of concept they have before they travel. And when they reach on the ground, what they found there, some of them will confess and tell you, had I known, I would not quit my job and come here. Because some of the challenges that they are going through. Like you said, the misconception that people will have. You see, some people will go to the mall, shopping mall, take a photo, of themselves. In fact, they are not even buying anything. So if I see that photo, I will have the impression of everything is green over there. So as I'm suggesting, is you can work with the migration team. If IOM or any of your agency can facilitate GID to go, because I've seen some other countries have done a similar thing. Ghana and other countries, they've sent their people out to go and talk to their citizens outside, and that will be a first-hand information about the situation they are going through over there.
Basically, we have thousands of Gambians in Spain and Italy waiting, and Germany waiting to be repatriated. And actually, because of the way we travel there, the irregular way we travel there, many of their claims or asylum claims are being turned down. So they are coming back, and we are having thousands of them annually. Last year, we received about close to 5,000 people. And these are people who actually left by boat, struggled their ways to go to Spain, and only to be turned back. So that's a problem.
It's because of the situation that we have right now in the Gambia. It will be very difficult to claim for asylum in the Gambia. Persecution here nowadays.
It's non-existent.
So
yes, thank you. Yes.
We are also, we have the technical team down there, and then they are so damn conscious.
Yes.
So moving to Mr. Ture, Bagay Ture. So what can you tell the viewers about the issuance of ID card? Because
passport.
Passport. Because it takes time, like the queuing and other stuff, like struggles and so on.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, let me just add these two things before I come to the question. Like I said initially, the process itself, there are a lot of improvements. Like, for example, before, the machines or the equipment that we have been using, if they were able to print, for example, 200 passports a day, now we have changed those equipments. Now we have new equipment that can print up to 400 to 500 passports a day. So this tells you that we are working hard to improve on the service so that people will get their passports as early as possible. Because sometimes you see some situation when people who came very urgent matter. I have to travel tomorrow. I have to travel at night. You see, so it becomes difficult if you don't have the right equipment to do the process in time. And also, even at the delivery, after the passport being produced, at the delivery, before you used to see a crowd at the window waiting to pick their passports. But we have also improved on that to ensure that nobody wait for more than 30 minutes or 1 hour to get your passport. Now you hardly find a crowd outside waiting to pick their passport because of the process is now very fast. And some of the challenges again that has to do with technology still, that has to be network. Sometimes we face network problem, and that is beyond our control. And sometimes you come and find out that people will be sitting for 2 hours, 3 hours, there'll be no network, and that sometimes it's not within our control. And that is a real challenge. But we are working hard to ensure that to replace some of the equipments that can definitely improve the service.
We have noticed in I applied for in 2023, I think.
I've applied for passport. I paid $3,060, and then just recently we've realized it has gone to 5,100. So before the increment of the passport, was there impact assessment conducted to determine, like we have average Gambians who might be struggling to get passport as far as $5,100. So was there any impact assessment done to determine if that would not have some financial burdens on the citizens as well?
Okay, the issue of fees, this is a process that is between government and a private company, and it's on contract basis. And at the time of negotiating the contract, all these were discussed. After certain time, the fee needs to increase. And when that happens, when that time comes, then we are bound to work according to the contract. And these are executive decisions. So there's not much we can do about that. And we cannot say much about that. What is important is the contract between government and the company. Government has to honor its side, and the company also have to honor its side. So this is how it is. It is on contract basis, and whatever is in the contract needs to be followed. And these are some of those things.
Yeah, so let me chip in Mr. Bar. Like he said, this biometric passport contract was signed in 2014. And in that contract, it was specifically clear that every year the price of the passport will be increased by 5%.
So how can you tell the citizen
Watching like how are you going to break it down?
This is what I'm coming. The price was to be increased annually on 5%. So since 2014, the government has been subsidizing that 5% until after 10 years. Then after 10 years, they have to calculate it and then now put it on top of the price. That is why now you have it at 5,000. It has been annual increment by 5%, That was what is in the contract. Right. So this is why this year, maybe government feel that now we have to also come up, because we may not be able to continue to be subsidizing this thing, since it is in the contract, and it has to be binding, because that was the contract agreement. So that is why now we have it at 5,000. And as time goes on, it will, because that 5% increment is there, unless if the contract is now ended, and then now the government has a full control over the whole project, like what we are doing currently at the ID card. Then government can now decide on the price and whether to maintain at that level also. But as it is now, you can't change it, because that is in the contract since 2014.
Okay. The other important thing is, even with this increment, Mr. Bar, we will have the leverage to find out. We still have the cheapest passport within the sub-region. Even with this increment, our passport is cheaper than all the countries within the ECOWAS sub-region.
Okay, so moving to you, Mr. Jaro, I will get back to the other two people. Like, you are working on the ID.
So we, like before, it takes 1 week to have an ID, for your ID to be issued, to gonna get it. And now we have realized it takes a month to get. So, like, what are some of the issues that is making the ID card to go through a slow pace before it gets to the owner?
Yes, the issues are many. Like he said, one of them has to do with the network, because all these systems are connected to the internet. So it is through internet you will be able to enroll and then transfer data from the sites to the main server. And then once this is done, remember the ID card production has different stages, and all these stages has to be completed before your card will be printed. And then I mentioned it here previously, we were backed by a foreign company, and then this foreign company has left. Okay, even though it was never their intention to leave, but we compelled them to leave. And then some of the things that they were using to support us were automatically taken away from us. So we have to step in to ensure that this production continues without no issues, and that is what we are exactly doing in terms of building capacities, in terms of providing the necessary resources that is required. Servers, we all know these IT things are not easy to get, and they are also very expensive. What I want to say is to people is for them to understand that we are also trying to expand. And then in expansion also, because if you look at the production of ID card, like I said before, what is happening now was never happening before in terms of reaching out to the people, in terms of having a mobile kit system that is moving. All this is facilitated by the government. So we know we have challenges, and the challenges are there. But equally also, some of them are within, or some of them are outside the scope of the GID.
Okay, wow. We realized like before, Gambians who went to Mauritania and other African countries, mostly they left without valid national documents. So after so many years, we've seen your department stepping in to make sure that those people in the Gambia have access to national ID card. Despite most people acknowledge your efforts to make sure Gambians access it without experiencing a lot of difficulties in the hands of foreign nationals. But we have also seen other pressure groups like National ID Card Scheme itself creates concern. They have questioned the transparency of the issuance of the ID card, saying like the GID is trying to give out ID cards to non-Gambians outside the country to help the incumbent president to stay in power. So is there anything that you wish to clarify?
No, GID for us, our mandate is very clear, is to issue national documents to Gambians. And then for the issue of Mauritania, it came as a result of a crisis in Mauritania. Our embassy, through the ministry, appealed for the department to go to Mauritania to issue ID card to Gambians. And then this exercise was done. The report was submitted with all the list of people that were enrolled and issued ID card. And it is submitted to the National Assembly, and then the document is also available for any individual or institution who want to access it and then verify. Because we also have to understand that the issuance of ID card is not something that is very, very complicated if you are a Gambian. What we are saying is you need to provide a proof in terms of documentation to show that you have a link with the Gambia. Then from there, you have to face the interview. Once you exhaust all these avenues, you are issued with the national documents. So Mauritania, at some point, they changed their laws to say that, you know, if you do not have A, B, or C, they are not going to issue you with their residence permit. And this affected all the foreign nationals living in Mauritania. Not only Gambians, even our neighbors. Their prime minister was compelled, Usman Sonko was compelled to go to Mauritania to negotiate a MOU between Senegal and Mauritania for their nationals living in Mauritania, and equally Gambia. We also sent our vice president there because Mauritania is seriously affected with this migration issue. Like my colleague said, it is used as a transit point. And now they have funding from EU and from all these European countries to fight this migration. In fact, now, before, for Gambians, if you have your national ID, they can enroll you and issue you with their residence permit. Now they have changed that. In fact, they are saying now they are not accepting the national ID. You have to get the national passport together with the national ID before they can enroll you and issue you with their residence permit. Even with that, we have Gambians who have fulfilled all those criteria, submit their applications, but still they are not issued with their residence permit. And this is their sovereign right. We cannot dictate to them how they should run their country. What we did was to facilitate and ensure that our citizens are identified so that they can be protected during that deportation crisis that we had in Mauritania. But the screening and issuing process that we are doing overseas is all transparent. And then we have the reports, we have everything submitted to the ministry. Anybody who wants to verify can verify.
So those people who have been listed, have
They access the ID cards.
Yes, all of them have received their ID cards.
Yeah, but initially we've seen like people saying instead of giving ID cards to non-Gambia outside the Gambia, it would be worth it to give them passport because passport is the documents that someone needs when traveling. So when you guys are trying to roll out ID card, didn't it come to your mind to use the passport instead of the ID card?
Okay, with the Immigration Act.
Yeah, somehow.
Okay. Do you know the act is saying that as a Gambian, if you reach the age of 18 years, it is incumbent upon you to obtain the ID card. Failure to do so, you have committed an offense as a Gambian. Do you know that? Yeah, so now, there is nowhere in our law where it indicates that if you do not obtain the passport as a Gambian, you have committed an offense. So the ID card is a right of every Gambian to get if you reach the age of 18 years. And it is the responsibility of the government to make it accessible and affordable to the citizens. If you are a Gambian right now living in the diaspora, you need an ID card. You are living in the diaspora, you need an ID card for any purpose known to you. The current situation is you have to travel all the way to the Gambia to obtain that ID card and travel back. Whether you are in Europe, whether you are in the USA, if you need that national ID, you have to travel all the way here to obtain it. And the law is saying it is your right to get it. So if the government is trying to make it accessible to every Gambian so that if they choose to get it, because remember, for us, we don't get up and go to these places. It is the Gambians, they themselves, who will request that they want these documents.
Okay, thank you so much.
I just want to add up to this because I had a discussion at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with one of these pressure groups or advocacy group that came in to discuss about this issue of Mauritania. And we came to realize that initially Mauritania was free. You can enter and stay there. And we had so many Gambian students. Basically, some of them think that Mauritanians hate other blacks. But we came to also realize that there are universities in Mauritania that were offering free education for Gambian students. Free. Where will you have that in Gambia? None. You understand? We are not offering free education for Mauritanians, even citizens. We are not at the university level. So basically, what's happened to many Gambians is that they live there with visitor's pass. You know, let's say pass. That's what they get. They stay 3 months. They cross the border, get another laissez-passer, come and stay. After 3 months elapsed, they go back and do it. And this is why when this operation started, many of the Gambians were affected. So now when they come to the ID, at first, you can easily do it. At first, you know, because for Mauritanians, they can do it with the ID. Here. They don't have a problem with that. So basically, Mauritania is not in ECOWAS, but there are so many arrangements or privileges that we are having with them at diplomatic level. And they are enjoying that. And we expected that it will be reciprocated on the other side. So when this ID card came, it came in at a time when they were already doing active reforms. All of a sudden, it was a signal that the ID card is okay for issuance. Another time, it came in, another information came, no. They are not accepting ID card anymore. Now it's passport. It's between that shift, in between the issuance of ID. That's when all these issues came. So Gambia will react to what Mauritania does. And we understand exactly these things. We know exactly how these things work. So the Gambians, my advice goes to Gambians in Mauritania. If you are in a foreign country, please follow the immigration laws of this country. They ask for residence permits. Please get the permits. Their permits are not complicated. You just have to get your compound head to sign or stamp. You have to live in a compound. You cannot be living under a bridge and expect to get a residence permit. That's not how it works. You have to live in a compound because your compound head has to sign. And then you have to go to a JP or a commission of oaths, just like we do in Gambia. So those are the things. So some Gambians will have the passport, will have a Gambian ID card, but their host may not be willing to sign for them because maybe they are overcrowded in the house and he cannot sign for everybody. Because signing for somebody means you are taking his immigration responsibility. And this is what is affecting many of the Gambians. So basically during that meeting, we had to advocate or educate the advocates who are out there. Look, go back to Mauritania and talk to the Gambians there. let them know exactly what Mauritania is asking for, and then tell Gambians to go and do the needful. That way, they will fall within the laws, and then everything will be fine.
Many Gambians are also using Mauritania as a transit point to travel.
For irregular migration.
This was raised by the Foreign Affairs
It is,
Ministry.
it is actually...
In fact, the reason why they targeted Gambia, most of the interceptions that they are doing at sea, they always have Gambians.
Yes, basically.
So they understand that Gambians, most of them will come to Mauritania not to stay, but to pass.
Yes. We have thousands of Gambians who are currently in Mauritania only to work, get some money, and pay a boat. Because from Mauritania, the distance is a little bit shorter.
Yes.
It's about 4 days. 4 days to the place.
Is very short.
You understand? And that poses a lot of security challenges and other social challenges in Mauritania. Because when they get sick, they have to go to the hospital. When they need whatever they need, sanitation, whatever, they have to now compete with Mauritania. So the government it's also finding it difficult to control their country. Another thing is terrorism, crimes, and so on and so forth. But irregular migration is one of the most difficult situations that Mauritania is facing, because we have thousands and thousands of Gambians in Mauritania. Some are actually staying there, working. Some are students. But more than half of them are actually migrants on transit. Yeah, thank you.
Well, viewers, you are working one-on-one here on Voice Out Digital, your Pan-African news outlet that comes your way every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm joined by the members of the Gambia Immigration Department to discuss burning national issues stemming from irregular migration and the national documents, passport, and ID cards. Like moving on to you, because you have talked about Gambians going as far as Mauritania to use it as a transit point to go to Europe. So hope that does not question like the security of our borders, because like if people will say if the borders were secure, like it would be easy to track people getting in and out of the country.
Well, secure borders, you know, when we say things, we have to put it in context and perspective. What do you mean secure borders? Is there a country that can police its borders 100% or 90% in this world? There is none. I can assure you that. Go and ask the United States. They'll tell you. You know what they ended up doing? Erecting a more than 500,000 meter long fence between them and Mexico. And even though after doing that, people started moving to Nicaragua and entering United States in thousands. So basically, it's not possible. Our geography is so that the land is flat. So Gambians and Senegal, the way we live is like we are the same people. So you can have compounds in the Gambia where the farmland is in Senegal, or even the bedroom is in Senegal. So you can enter and exit anywhere. Basically, this is why community engagement comes into play. There is no way the GID can police the Gambian borders. The GID, Gambia Armed Forces, Gambia Police Force, and all other security agencies can police the Gambia's borders 100% without the collaboration of the community. It's not possible. And even if you spread all the immigration officers on the borderline, it is still not possible. We are just 2,000 something. Over 2,000, just a little bit over 2,000 immigration officers. And remember, we have to do other functions too. Those at our borders are really doing well. But our major problem is circumvention. People coming to know that this is a regular border point, they circumvent. Or people coming to claim that they are just going to Senegal here. And they have a right to go to Senegal, because if you reach maturity age and you have your ID card, you can actually travel to other countries. You can travel. You're free to travel within ECOWAS. It's part of the protocol. They can enter and reside and establish in Senegal. So basically, when they travel across borders, there is no cause to stop them, because there is no evidence that they are actually going on irregular migration. Nobody will come to the border and tell you that I am going. Nobody will go to ID card and tell them, give me an ID card, I want to go to irregular migration. I want to travel to Libya. Nobody does that. So what they do is they give you other pretexts. And this is where it is difficult. The borders are porous, we agree. Senegal's borders are also porous. Guinea's borders are porous. Mauritania's borders are even more porous because they have a very long border. You understand? So basically, in sub-Saharan Africa, we face similar problems. This is where sensitization, making people aware, because knowledge here is the biggest power. If people are aware of themselves and aware of what they can do, what they should not do, what the law allows them to do, what is dangerous to them, what is good for their lives, what is healthy and not healthy, they'll be able to make informed decisions. Because traveling using by land from here to Senegal is not getting up from here to your bedroom. No, it's a decision. And before they make the decision, if they are empowered to know exactly, because we've realized that in many occasions, people get up from nowhere and travel. We've also had the diaspora playing their part in sending money for people to travel. Basically, the border management aspect has been a concern. But let me tell you what GID has done. We've established what we call the Migration Information Data Analysis System, a system capable of recording traveler data in real time and sending it to the headquarters where we have the main server. And this system analyzes this data. This system also helps us to do our interceptions for those who have passed through the system. You understand? But the issue of porous borders is also a major concern because we cannot man everywhere. In the Gambia, even bicycles, motorbikes, donkey carts can enter and leave the Gambia if they want, if they want to avoid law enforcement. But the communities are the ones who should help, and there are many people in the communities who are seeing those acts and are not doing anything. So basically, because we are not everywhere, you cannot blame us 100% on that. Another thing perhaps is the lack of equipment and material to be able to do the border surveillance. Resources are also a challenge.
Like we have a signal, we have 10 minutes. Like we can have the answers short.
Yes.
Before the time elapses.
Like talking about technical advancement and so on. So here we've realized money is paid to agents. So if in case interception takes place, what do you do to those agents? And of course those who have been intercepted, are they taken back to their families or taken to court?
Yes, those that are intercepted are actually assisted with their families. If the money can be recovered, they are
recovered. If the monies are not being able to recover, we actually go for the organizers, the agents, the people who facilitated the travel, the one who brought the boat, the one who collected the monies and so on. If we can get them, we actually take them to court. We used our immigration offenses to charge them. But as the officer from the community engagement said, the charges are so meager that you cannot compare them to what we have in other countries, in Senegal and so on. In Senegal, it's harsher. And that's why a lot of the smugglers will prefer to come to the Gambia, because they feel that the punishment in the Gambia will be lower. But basically, we don't leave them like that. We actually do our best to make sure that we deter them and we... Yes, sir. People were prosecuted, people were charged. Exactly. Those that are non-Gambians are actually deported and told not to come back to the Gambia. So basically, that's what we do. We're trying our best, despite the lack of a legal framework. We're limiting ourselves to what we have as a legal framework, which is the immigration offenses, and we punish them to that level. Even the offenses relating to documents, forgery, and so on are also very, very major. So basically, this is the solution we have as a department.
Yeah, so on to you, Mr. Fadi. How closely are you working with local authorities like Alcalos and so on? Because some people use Gambians to access ID cards, and then at the end they will go to the Alcalos compound to write an attestation claiming that the person is a Gambian.
Yes, thank you very much. Like I tell you earlier on, our work is periodic. We are moving. Even currently, PRO, we had a partnership with one of the organizations called TUMA and the Ultimate Mentorship Association. They are currently out with the immigration officers. If you are following our Facebook page, you will see the publications. They are going across the country to meet the local authorities, go to the school, meet school authorities, talk to the students on immigration laws. Basically, irregular migration, citizens and nationality, procedures to acquire national documents. These are things that they discuss with the students and the local authorities. The responsibility of the local authorities are also very, are discussed in details. Even myself, the second week of last month, I was out with Alkali and Ministry of Trade and National Youth Council. We were out. We talked to the local authorities, especially Alcalos, who should have the attestation from the Alcalos. We made this thing very clear. Some of the Alcalos doesn't know, but some definitely knows. But sometimes, like I said, the Gambian's masla system sometimes it makes it very difficult. Sometimes, even for the Alcalos, sometimes very difficult because, you are from the village and then you went and have your wife from Senegal. You bring your wife. Now you want Alcalo to give your wife attestation. If Alcalo refuses, it becomes an issue within the community. So these are some of the things we talk to them.
attestations should be given to people who are born in your village. And these should be people, who, but at the time of their birth, one of their parents are Gambians. Otherwise, those, that are born to non-Gambian parents, they should not be issued an attestation. Even if you are going to issue them an attestation, you should make it clear on your attestation that they are born to non-Gambian parents. So that, wherever they are going, they will know that definitely these people, of course, they are born in the Gambia, they have the right to have the birth certificate of this country. But the law says, before you get the national document, that is the ID card, you must reach the legal age, that is the age of maturity. Then from there, you decide whether to take the citizens of your own, your place of birth, or the citizenship by descent of your parents. Right? So these are things that we talk to the community, we talk to El Carlos. Definitely, the community, engagement unit of GID is doing very well to make sure that the misconceptions with regards to, how these documents are issued to non-Gambians are cleared. Because most of the people does not see where the problem starts. Right? Once you see ID card with somebody whom you believe is not a Gambian, you point out to the immigration. And nobody comes to immigration empty-handed and we issue an ID card. The law says the person has to acquire A, B, or C before you give him an ID card. And those documents are not issued by the immigration officers. Right? So, by default, before anyone comes to immigration, has already established his citizenship. It's just through our interview panel, the experts, sometimes go to his office. You'll find a bunch of people who are required. And sometimes they will never come back. Because they have all those documents, but through the interview, our officers realize that these people still are not genuine. Then you still refer them. Most of them, when they go, they don't come back. But the Gambians will never see this. Always blames are coming to immigration because we are the one who give the final delivery. But it does not start from us. So this is things that we are doing across the country. Thank you very much.
Yeah, over to
some like if it comes to issue one passport, like in those days when they started rolling out passport for Gambians who want to go for seasonal migration in Spain and so on. So we have seen people say like immigration department officers will be helping other people who were late to come to access passport using the back door. Even recent during the interview with the director, Mr. He said like some of those people working there might not be part of the immigration there, but they have been there for so long, so they have those close relationship. So how are you working to ensure that like people who are not working on the department will be like differentiated from those working for the department, so that people can know this person is actually not working for the immigration department, to ensure transparency in your dealings?
Yes, thank you once again. You see, I will tell you one thing. At the biometric passport, there's no back way. There's no back door. We ask everybody to buy the form from the bank, come and submit your form, and you'll be given a date for an interview. Whether it's going to be that day exactly, or the next day, or a week later. But you see, sometimes people jump into conclusion, and they will not realize what happened before they jump into conclusion. That's the habit of many people, especially in the Gambia. You see, those people that you just mentioned, we have people working as notary public. They're the ones filling the form. Whatever they do with applicants before they come, the applicants come to our office, we have no control over that. The applicant will choose to deal with the agent or not. But what we know is the applicant, bring your form, submit it to the office, we treat you accordingly. But if there are other things happening outside the office, that we have no control over, and we are not a party to that. So immigration officers will have relatives, not even only immigration officers. Everybody has relatives. People have friends. You see? Now, you can come with a relative. Priority can be given to people based on certain things, conditions. Sometimes it's based on old age, sometimes small children, sometimes government officials who need to travel urgently, sometimes official correspondence. You see? So people will not know. When somebody comes, you see that person is now enrolled and he's going. You may not know what happened or what led to that first process You just jump into a conversation and see this person just came and is outgoing. You may not know. So this is the problem with some of those things. People will just jump into a conversation without knowing what exactly led to that past process.
So, Mr. Jallo, because I want to add a little.
Yeah, let me come to Mr. Jallo.
No, the work of GID, what you have to understand is, GID, we work with different stakeholders. Like he said, we have the justice of peace. And these are people who are mandated by the law to do that activity, the process that they are doing. We have not only the public, so these are people that are working on the Commission of Oaths, right? And these are the people who authenticate most of these national documents. And this authentication is done before the applicants reach to the GID. So whatever they have encountered with those people, you cannot hold GID responsible for that. Right? So most of them, they have problems with those people before they reach to the GID. What we advise them, those people their work is only to fill your form for you. In fact, not even to fill your form, it's to authenticate. If you can fill your form for yourself, you can fill it and then you just go, you just need a stamp and then you pay them and then you come to the GID. So, but if you have done anything with them and at the end of the day, you want to bring that blame to GID, of course, we will not take that. So this is why I say there are a lot of misconceptions. When you say Barbie, and he said, you go to anywhere, we have, if you are working, you have relatives. We are the public relations office. Most of the, media houses now will come to our office, because they want us to help them to get their documents in, through fast ways. So these are things that are happening everywhere in this country. But those are some of the things we also have to understand that is our relationship. Governments are too connected. So you cannot come to me as a family member, you find me at a work, and then you need my assistance. I say, no, just go and do like how anyone is doing. When we go back home, how will you see me? So these are some of the things that are tightening people's hand, not only at the GID, but it is across all walks of life in this country. Thank you. Right? So those are things that we thought is normal. Of course, under normal circumstances, it's not normal. When you come, you have to follow the queue. But that's how we find ourselves in. That's how Gambia looks like.
To you, finally, final question to you.
Most governments did not go and then collect their ID cards and other license. And then we've gone through your social media handle. But most of them say they are tired of going every day to look for their ID cards. Do you think that's the reason? And then what are you guys doing to make sure that the same thing is not repeated?
We have some of the measure. What we are doing now is to get all the contact numbers of people whose IDs are already printed and they are not confident. We will be working with his office very soon. And then what we want to do in the long run is to have an instant SMS alert where once your ID is processed, is ready, you will receive an instant message for you to come and pick your ID. But the short-term solution is to call the individuals and inform them that their cards are ready. Let them come forward and pick their cards. Even the current exercise we are doing with the PMO for civil servants, we have printed all the cards for KM. Still now, there are still people who do not come forward to collect their cards. We made a press release on our Facebook page with the PRO's office. Still now, I have about 186 cards in my office. Still now, the individuals do not come and collect their cards, and it is their responsibility for them to come and pick their cards.
They are not frustrated.
Well, I cannot say they are frustrated because you apply for your ID and you are given an appointment, your card is ready. What frustration is there? So I think maybe some of them don't have time, maybe they have other engagements, but this is who we are as Gambians. We only knock on doors when there is pressure somewhere. If we want to travel now, there is an emergency, we will come for our ID. And then we want to put pressure on the immigration to do instant printing. And we cannot do instant printing with this kind of system that we are using. So I will encourage, because we have close to 8,000 cards countrywide that are yet to be collected, and they are already printed.
Right. Yeah. Before we wrap up that, what do you wish to share to our audience before we say bye to our wonderful listeners? We started from you, then Marshall.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. What I would like to tell the listeners or the followers is that the work of immigration is very diverse. Some people, when they had immigration, they think it's only ID card and the passport. We are also issuing documents to non-Gambians that are resident in this country. Although we have not discussed on that part of the processes here, but immigration department is responsible of everyone who get the age of maturity. When you have 18 years, the law says as a Gambian, it is incumbent on you now to have your national ID card. And above 18 years, immigration officers has right to stop anyone at anywhere within this country if you are found moving without a national ID card. So that's what the law said. We are not doing that right now. But people have to understand that as time goes on, well, there are a lot of things that are happening in this country. So in order to, so that everyone has to be moving with something to be able to identify you. Sometimes unforeseen circumstances happen. Go to the mortuary in Bandit. You find a lot of unidentified corpses. These are all problems. But if you have your national ID card with you, whatever happens, you will be, at the end, you will be taken back to your family. So please, let's understand, and also the misconceptions about immigration. Do not see an ID card with somebody or passport you said immigration is issuing. Know that that person has started a process somewhere before he comes to immigration. He acquired documents to prove that he is a Gambian. That is why he came to immigration, and he was able to pass all the interviews and got the national ID card. So immigration cannot be blamed for that, because the person has established through all legal means for him to be issued a national ticket. So these are some of the things I would like Gambians to understand. And then every Gambian is an immigration officer. If you find a national document with somebody whom you have, no doubt proof that this person is not a Gambian, report the matter to any nearest immigration or police office. Or you come to, we have our intelligence, we will take it from there. Because, we cannot know all these things. People will come, they have all the supporting documents, we will issue. But at some point, when the matter come back, somebody who has all evidence that this person is not a Gambian and is having a Gambian ID card, report the matter. We will get the ID card from him, and then we will start to follow and investigate. If he insists that the matter will be taken to court, then the court will revoke. If it is established that it's not a Gambian, the court will revoke the ID card from the person or the passport. So these are some of the things that, let all Gambians put their hands on deck and help immigration to have a better Gambia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for having us on the show. I would just want to assure the Gambian public that it is not our intention to stop people from traveling. That's not the intention. The intention is to save people's life and make sure that people travel in a safe, orderly, and regular manner. You understand? And irregular migration has done so much for the Gambia, either positive or negative. But we believe that the negative sides outweigh or outnumber the positive side, and hence we should do our best to make sure that we reduce the prevalence of irregular migration. Hence, we call on the general public to work with us in terms of signaling and also collaborating in terms of handling or assisting migrants. I also want to also say that parents or communities need to help returnees. This is one aspect we need to work on. Returnees need to be assisted. They are not failures. There are people who've tried to travel, to do something for themselves and their families, and they could not. So basically, they need our support. Additionally, the ones who are not gone, we have not forgotten about them. The ones who have never traveled, we have not forgotten about them, because these are people who are listening. Yes, people are listening, who are watching, who are trying to see how best they can also try to make it. If they don't find work, which is a major push factor in this country, jobs and salaries, if they don't find that, they may be compelled to move. Another aspect also is the diaspora, who also need to help us, despite their contributions. But some of the people in the diaspora are the ones who are actually pushing the people on the ground to join them, even though it's not being easy for them. But some of them, they compel them. On a nutshell, I think we encourage every Gambian to work with GID in the fight against irregular migration. I want to thank you so much for having me on the show. I hope they can reach our office, the Migration Management Unit, for any further information or report cases of irregular migration. We have our shelters in Para and also in Tangier and any other immigration office or unit you see in the country. If you have any information, please walk straight to that information and report the information. Rest assured, your identity will be safeguarded. You will not be published. Nobody will know that you reported, and we will do the needful, and then you will save lives. Thank you so much.
How about you, Mr. Toure? Yeah, thank you very much. Just like I said at the beginning, what the biometric passport process have done is the decentralization to Gambians abroad. And it's not only that, even within the country, the decentralization started within the country here before even reaching abroad. Like we had a team that went around to the regions to enroll people to get their biometric passport without coming to Banjul. And that was a big success. And we plan to do this on a quarterly basis. So the second trip would take place, of course, though we planning to do it in the last quarter. But then, unfortunately, due to some logistical challenges and coinciding with the rainy season also is difficult. But then we are asking people in the region not to give up. We will surely come to their side to enroll them to get their biometric passport, and they will not need to travel to come to Bali, because we have realized that some of them will struggle a lot, because when you come, sometimes the process will take you 1 week or more, and if you have no one to lodge, it becomes a problem. So based on that, the government took the decision to decentralize the process across the regions so that people can get their biometric passport without coming to Bani. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to say a big thank you to Voice Out Digital for inviting us, and then we encourage you to feel free to call on us anytime that you need us, because this is very good for our work, so that the public can know what we are doing. The second thing is I just want to encourage all civil servants to take advantage of the mobile team that is going around countrywide, so that they can get their national ID card before the deadline given by the Personal Management Office. Currently, the team is in Basse, and then they will travel to Farafenni after when they finish Basse, and then from there back to the Combos again. So for the issuance of ID card for those who enroll in West Coast, we will do it today. We will start the delivery of cards today at the regional office in West Coast, just opposite the Gambia College. So we encourage all of you who enroll in West Coast to go and collect your cards. The team will be there. And I want to once again thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much, gentlemen, from the Gambia Immigration Department, for your insightful information and then for making this program. Bring us to check follow us on all our social media handles for more insightful and interesting stories. Until I come your way, I'm your host, Ismaila. Bye for now.